Greetings, royal family. I'm back. All right, this Sistas episode was doing a whole lotta. Okay, thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are a returning royal family member, you already know how this thing goes. So we open up and we still at Karen's place. Remember, Zack walked in seeing Aaron kissing his woman. Okay, so Zack, he pretty much wants to fight. You know, he is taken aback. He knows who Aaron is. And Karen is, for the first time in Sistas history, Karen doesn't really have much to say. And all of that sass has disappeared. So Karen, she's trying to calm Aaron down. You know, she's trying to hold the boys back because the boys are fighting. And Aaron wants all the smoke. Okay, he wants all the smoke. Zack is talking trash. Aaron's not really talking too much trash. But then Aaron, after Zack says something about, you know, his wife killing herself. I forgot exactly what he said. Aaron rushes Zack, okay, has him pinned up against the wall. You know, that was a trigger for Aaron. So Aaron, he was no more preacher man, okay? He wanted all the smoke. Now this fight scene, y'all, I know I'm a little late, but I literally just watched the episode. This fight scene was so hilarious to me. I don't think Tyler Perry intended it to be like a comedy skit, but I was rolling. I have seen more realistic fighting on the WWF when I was a kid. This was so fake looking. It was just weird, and I was cracking up. So Aaron, she breaks them up. Zack actually accidentally hit Karen while she was trying to break up the fight. That's why you don't break up fights, but whatever. And Aaron, he's like, you know, to Karen, do you want me to leave? And she says, no, but you should. Okay. Tyler, that was good. I have to say that made me giggle like a lot. So that was real interesting. That scene was so horrible. It was so horrible that it was funny, if that makes sense. So Karen, she ends up yelling at Zack, and they're going back and forth, kind of arguing and stuff like that. And Zack is extremely hurt. He's like holding back tears, you know, this long, drawn out, dramatic scene between the two of them. Okay, so Karen, she throws Zack's paychecks in his face and tells him to find somewhere else to live, and she tells him to get out. So Zack says, look, when I walk out this door, I ain't coming back. Yeah, that's pretty much the objective, sir. Bye, run along. So Karen, she says that she is done, and at this point, I am over this scene. But apparently Tyler wasn't, because they went on and on and on. Karen kicked him out. He ended up sitting at the table. She just kept saying, why are you still here? You know, Zack keeps throwing the fact that the lady shot herself in Karen's salon. He keeps throwing that in her face. It's getting kind of old. So he ends up leaving. And he turns over the TV off the TV stand onto his face, breaking the TV. And the reason why he did it is because he bought the TV. Because, you know, Karen is always talking about, this is my house, I bought this, I bought that. So Zack was like, oh yeah, I bought this. And he turns the TV over and breaks it. I'm just like, that was dumb. We move on to Dumb and Dumber. Sabrina and Andy. So they're talking outside the bar. I guess they're waiting for their ride. And Sabrina is telling Andy what happened with Calvin, Maurice, and the other guy. Here we go. So Sabrina, she feels bad now, right? And says to Andy, but I really like him. If you really liked him, Sabrina, see, I'm trying not to raise my voice. If you really liked him, Sabrina, then why did you go along with Maurice's stupid plan? Like, you don't like that man. You're desperate. You don't like that man. Ay, ay, ay. And Andy tells Sabrina that, you know, she should just let it go. And of all people, Andy is telling anyone that they should let something go. Okay, fine. You know, Sabrina, she replies, what if he's the one? It's just like, I told you, she's one of them friends that you just say, okay, yep. You just nod and smile. You don't give her any insight or try to rationalize with her. And I really am starting to think that Tyler Perry watches my reviews. No, I'm serious. I think that Tyler Perry watches my reviews of this show to come up with new ways to piss me off as it pertains to this Sabrina character. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. You know what I mean? So Morris, the fine brother who has his own law firm that they met up, that Andy ran into in the bar. So he shows up and he is talking to Andy with his fine self. And he offers Andy a ride and she's like, no, no, thank you. And he asks, will you call me? And she says, if I have to. And he's like, what's that about? So Andy and Sabrina leave. So I guess she's trying to play hard to get or whatever. Who cares? Back at Karen's place, right? So Aaron, she gets a knock on the door and it's Aaron. He returns and he's trying to get back into her apartment to kind of help her clean up because when those guys were fighting, a lot of furniture was moving, glasses everywhere and all types of stuff. So he's trying to offer to help to clean up her place and she's telling him to just go home, Yeah, Aaron, I just don't understand why you're not home with your children. Whatever, what do I know? We move on to Danny. So Danny's at her place with Preston and they're getting it on. And who shows up? Zack. He shows up, he interrupts Preston. He seems to like Danny. He says that he wants to see her again. So they're talking. And Zack, he's in the living room at this point. And Preston, he's getting ready to leave. He ends up leaving. He says, I think your friend really needs you. And I've been saying throughout this whole series that Danny and Zack's relationship is just real weird. And I don't get it. I don't get it. She flirts with him, Anyway, so Zack needs a place to stay, just as I suspected. And he's back at Danny's place. He obviously still has her key. Why? But whatever. So Danny takes it upon herself to call Karen and let her know, like, look, we just ironed things out. Me and Karen, we're in a good space. I'm going to call her and let her know that you are here because I don't want any static with my sister. So she ends up leaving her a message. Anyway, moving on to the next scene, Andy and Karen. So Karen is over at Andy's place. Andy comes home and is like, who's here? Karen comes sashaying out the room with her glass of wine like me. So she's filling her in on what happened with Aaron and Zack, and she needs a place to stay because, she just doesn't want to be alone, I guess, and her place is trashed. So she's basically going to be spending the night with her sister. Yay, that's great. Back at Danny's place, Danny wakes up Zack, right? Zack is asleep on the couch, and obviously he's still at her place. And Danny is trying to get him to talk to Karen. Like, you need to go home, you need to call her, you need to talk to her, and he doesn't want to. So Zack is telling Danny at this point that he's questioning, remember the girl who said that she is pregnant? He's questioning the paternity of this alleged child of his. So that was that on that scene. And then he got up and he was in his underwear. And of course, Danny is being inappropriate. She's trying to brush past him. Like I said, their relationship is weird and it's just needs to stop. So we see Sabrina and Maurice. Maurice, he shows up to work, tiptoeing into the bank with his sunglasses on because he is hungover from the night before with all of those shenanigans. So he shows up, he's trying to talk to Sabrina. So Sabrina tells Maurice that, Calvin pretty much cussed her out and she is really sad. Like she's looking all sad and bummed out. Now Sabrina, she ends up walking off from Maurice after getting upset with him and accusing him of thinking that her love life is funny. She's like, you think this is funny? And he's like, no, I don't think this is funny. She's like, yes, you do. You think my love life is funny? I'm like, what? Where did that come from, girl? You think your love life is funny. Don't project your feelings onto Maurice. Oh, God. Now, mind you, this is in the middle of the bank. She's walking off in the bank to her office, and Maurice is behind her saying, Sabrina, I'm sorry. He's following behind her as she walks to her office. Now, see, I'm glad that I took my money and my business away from this bank 2 weeks ago. Y'all remember what I said? 2 weeks ago. Unprofessional. So they're in the office now, and she's crying, and Maurice is apologizing to her. And I just feel like this is the most senseless storyline. This is exactly how I feel watching this particular scene, and she is standing firm in her decision that she's not going to call him because Calvin is like, not Calvin. Maurice is like, you should call him, girl, call him. Then Maurice, he encourages her she just kept saying, call him. I just don't get why she is being encouraged to call a man that she stated was not her type. She said that. She told him that when he cussed her out. He's not your type. This is not what you like. Senseless. So we move on to Zack, and he is at work. He's at the airport. And in the middle of the airport, he is confronting this allegedly pregnant woman. The woman who says that she's pregnant by him in the airport at his job in front of everybody. He got his uniform on and everything. These are the most unprofessional employees in my life. So he calls her out on lying about him being the father of the baby. So he's doing a little bit of fact checking and timeline investigation. Now this chick is saying that she's 4 weeks pregnant, right? She said she went to the doctor and the doctor told her that she was 4 weeks pregnant. And Zack says that they had sex less than 4 weeks ago. So she's like, I don't know, that's what the doctor said. So I throw my hands up at this point. I was like, oh boy. Just make the girl look dumb, huh? Just make her look totally dumb. So Zack, he pulls out a pregnancy test and he wants the girl to take one. I respect it, but I think that they could have gone off into a little room and discussed this, not in the middle of the airport, right? I respect it though. So back at the bank, here we go with the foolery. One of Calvin's fathers, because remember he has 2 dads, approaches Sabrina and wants to talk to her privately in her office. So they go off in the office. And then Sabrina, during this, Sabrina has the nerve to say, oh, I got to get back to work. You left when Andy was crying and you left and went to Andy's house. You left when Karen was in the hospital. You walking off crying. Maurice is chasing behind you. Now all of a sudden you got to get back to work. So, anyway, so he tells Sabrina that Calvin came to him very upset and he has had issues with other women thinking that he was gay. So this daddy, remember again, he has 2. So daddy basically was the one, he said he was the one that encouraged Calvin to talk to Sabrina and how excited he was, when he talked about Sabrina, how beautiful she was. And the father said that he was very excited for his son because finally he has met a woman who wouldn't judge him. Now Sabrina is standing there looking like she is being reprimanded. So the father goes into the whole history of how Calvin was adopted by him and his partner. His mother basically had cancer. She was passing away and he was bullied at school because of his 2 dads. Both the fathers are white. So this man standing before Sabrina, giving her this sob story, is white, and so is his husband. He also mentioned that Calvin's biological mother's dying wish was that these 2 men raised Calvin, because I think she was friends with the other dad, the mother. I think that's what he said. The mother, he says that the mother did not want anyone in Calvin's biological family, in the mother's family, to adopt him because they were in and out of jail. Calvin's biological mother is white, by the way. I mean, black, by the way. And his biological father wasn't present. This is what this man is standing here telling Sabrina in her office. Now, I thought to myself, oh, how original. Tyler, this scene was straight trash. And I think I'm offended. I don't know yet, but I think I'm offended. Anyway, so the daddy, he goes on to say that his son is not gay. He said Calvin is not gay. And if he was, he has created an environment for him to be honest and open. And he feels that Calvin would have told him if he was gay. So he tells Sabrina that his son, respects women. He said that he was, bullied a lot because he had 2 fathers. He said that he and his husband would oftentimes not go to Calvin's games as not to embarrass him. And he says, I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad. That's exactly why you're telling her this, sir. It's exactly why this trash scene was placed in here, to make Sabrina feel bad about a decision or her feeling that she's not attracted to a Calvin type guy. Let me calm down. So he goes on to tell her, he finishes up by telling her, if you want a man that is going to love you and respect you, you know, because my son is very respectable and he respects women. And if you want a man like that, you are going to have to accept him. And of course, Sabrina's character is eating this up. My hands were thrown up scenes ago, but I said to myself, wow, she has to accept him, which is not necessarily false. It's either you're going to accept it or not. But Sabrina has made it very clear that she has a problem with Calvin because he is not her type, or the way he is just, you know, that's not the type of guy that she wants. So she's not supposed to change him, but she has to accept him. She has to change her liking to accept him. No, she doesn't have to do anything, sir. And quite frankly, get out of my office. I understand that his intention, he was, you know, caping for his son. I get all of that. But your son is a grown man. Back to Andy. So we see her. She's finally back in the office. She's at work. And her assistant is telling her that something is going on. You know, she said she doesn't like BS and she doesn't know what's going on. And Andy's like, what the heck is she talking about? And she says that, you know, not managers, but whatever, the firm people, whatever you call them, they've been talking all day and meeting all day. So as Andy is approaching the boardroom, guess who is sitting in there with the partners, with the other partners of the firm? Crazy Gary and his wife, and Morris, the fine man that Andy ran into the bar the night before. So I said to myself, ooh, what is going on here? They always save the good stuff for the end. So I am extremely interested to see who Morris is, why he is sitting in the boardroom. And I noticed that he was sitting next to the wife client. And Gary was sitting, the wife client was sitting in between Gary and Morris. I don't know. I tried to see if that would tell me something, but it didn't. I don't even know why I mentioned it. But I wonder if the wife client has gone to the firm and told them about Andy and her shenanigans. And Morris, because he has his own law firm, is going to be taking over this case. But then again, maybe not, because why would Gary be there? Interesting. Funny, we did not see the crazy private investigator lady in that boardroom at all. Still don't trust her. So I thought that that was a great ending to a ridiculous episode. That Sabrina storyline is a hot mess. It's a hot mess. It's drawn out. It's like I said, I think I'm offended. So Royal Family, if you saw this episode, be sure to get down in the comments and tell me what you think. If you didn't see the episode and you pay close attention to my review, get down in the comments also and tell me what you think. Now, you don't have to agree with anything that I said. That's fine. But make sure that when you're commenting, please be respectful. We can respectfully disagree. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I like to be pleasantly surprised. I don't even know what number episode is this. Is this 15? It's Tyler. Pep it up. What is going to be the outcome with Andy, wife client, and Crazy Gary? Because that is the only storyline that I'm really interested in. All this other stuff is fluff, and it seems like fillers. These scenes with Danny and Zack are so repetitious, long and drawn out. Like, it's kind of torturous trying to watch some of these scenes. But like I said, I am committed to watching this until the end and bringing you these reviews. But that fight scene, man, I'm telling you, if you guys saw it, tell me what you think. That was so hilarious. Like, I wasn't expecting that. You know, it's so fake that it was funny. All right, I'm signing off. Make sure you have your notifications on if you are subscribed. If you are not subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. We would love to have you join our Royal Family. Royal Family, I'll be back soon. Until next time, peace.